Hi guys, JP from FSiPanel. I hope you're well. In this video, we are going to see the traffic pattern feature of FSiPanel 2020 Advanced Edition, and we are going to use the beautiful TFDi Design MD11. So I'm sitting here on runway 22 left at Boston, and we are going to program together a very quick circuit pattern. So this is a feature that will let you fly a quick patterns where you have to do all your checklist by yourself, and FSiPanel will take care of programming your FMS and your aircraft for departure. So this is if you want to train departure, a quick brief, and arrival to any approach you'd like to practice. So before I forget, please subscribe to the channel and let's jump in the cockpit and see how we can prepare this this traffic pattern. All right, here we are in the cockpit of the MD11. As you can see, nothing has been set at all. We have a blank FMS and we have default values. The engines are not even running. So when you use FSiPanel, remember that you need to have the engines running. So the best way to do it is to go to Pioneer state here and just select ready to fly. When you do that, then you will have the engines running, and we don't care about the flaps where this is because FSiPanel will take care of that in a couple of seconds when I show you that. So basically you just need to make sure your engines are running and your IRS are aligned. I have my parking brake set still, so that's perfect. So basically now the aircraft is in the ready state to start FSiPanel and to program our visual circuit. It's not a visual circuit. In fact, I use that feature just to program something for you so you can use automation and concentrate on procedures. All right, so let's start FSiPanel and I'll show you how to program this. All right, here we are in FSiPanel. So the first thing, as always, make sure you have the correct aircraft detected. So in my case today, TFDi MD11, that's correct. We are in Boston and the runway is not the correct one. We are sitting right now on runway 22 left. So I have to make sure that I'm as well going on runway 22 left in FSiPanel. So I will just change the runway. Here, by the way, you can see the actual METAR, 19 degrees, and we have the wind 340 at 9 knots. So we said we are on runway 22 left, so I just select 22 left. Now this is the correct runway. Go to select fix, and you can see here the quick traffic pattern. So in order not to overfly the 22 right for arrival, let's select left-hand pattern. And when I click left-hand pattern, everything will start. So I'll click it and we will see together what happened in the aircraft. All right, first instruction here, set your payload and fuel in the AFB. All right, here the slats and flaps have been retracted. This is normal. This is done by FSiPanel. Now what you want to do is just select the payload. So today I would like to do a short flight around the airport with, let's say, 200 passengers, 2 tons of cargo and 8 tons of fuel. This is completely up to you, whatever you set here. This is just to set your weight for your pattern. So this is done. Then FSiPanel asks me to click acknowledge to continue. So let's do that. And now you can see the setup of the FMS. Boston to Boston. FSI 001 is the call sign. Cruise level, this is 4,000 feet. Cost index. Then we're going to have the departure runway, which is 22 left for us today. So this is all automatic. You don't automate. It's fully automatic. So do not touch anything. Just wait until FSiPanel tells you that you can go ahead and take off. So now we can see the circuit is inserted in the box. You can see the first waypoint. Then we should go to the left. Don't worry about that. You'll see it will be fixed in a couple of seconds. Then we are going downwind. After the downwind, we are going to final. And then FSiPanel will set the performance. So your weight and the CGs are inserted automatically as well. Now we get the flaps 25, PAX, sorry, flex 52, 15 degrees Celsius, and the speeds are inserted. So this is something you want to check maybe if you have a heavy aircraft to make sure you have correct value for takeoff here. It should work, but make sure you check it if you have an heavy aircraft. Now we get another message. Please select your approach, check routing, and delete discontinuity. All right, so now what FSiPanel has done. If we go in plan mode, we can see that we have our pattern. Now we just need to select what kind of approach we want to fly. So today, let's say I would like to fly an ILS 22 left. So I will just have to go in my box here, select Boston, and I want the ILS 22 left, insert. Now we need to clear the discontinuity. So you can see that we have the waypoint Wayne, which is very close to my last waypoint here inserted by FSiPanel. So this is not a good idea. So what I will do, I will connect it to, for example, Vocus after my waypoint Whiskey 070. So I will just delete Wayne, which is too close. So here, make sure that you clear the discontinuity and that you take a waypoint which is close to the runway in the correct direction. And now you can see that we have a very nice pattern. So that's all I need to do. Now I click acknowledge and FSiPanel will continue with the setup of the cockpit. And we got the last information to set the stab trim as needed. All right, so we are going to set the stab trim. So we are on the right page here. We have 5.5 to be set. So I need 5.5. Done. Now I go back to map. And if we look at the cockpit, nav has been armed, prof has been armed. We have 4,000 feet. We have the routing. Now we should have the flaps at 25, as we can see right there. So if we go on the other side here, we can see that the flapper dial has been set to 25. That's correct. We have transponder on, auto brake RTO. And if we look up, all the lights are set. So basically, we are ready to depart. FSiPanel has switched on as well the windshield heaters. So basically, now you are ready to fly your circuit. So we are going to try this circuit with full automation to an ILS runway 22 left. So this feature can be used at any airport you like. So just position the aircraft on the runway where you want to practice, select left or right pattern, and make sure that you have the correct runway in FSiPanel. All right, here we go. We'll do the takeoff and we do this short flight, see how it works. All right, let's do the takeoff and see how this pattern works. So brakes release. Let's decrease a little bit here the range and off we go. Auto flight, set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. 80 knots. Checked. V1 rotate. Positive rate, gear up. So the aircraft is so light, she will climb like a rocket. All right, we passed 500 feet. Let's go auto flight. The idea is to see how she flies. So we have autopilot 1, pitch, nav 1, takeoff thrust. And we are climbing for our traffic pattern. Right side looks better today. Okay, let's concentrate on our flying. Now we are accelerating, so we passed the flaps retracting bug. So let's go flaps up. Now flaps are up. We passed the slat retracting bug. Let's go flaps up. Slats up, sorry. Turning now to the left for the circuit. You can see our departing runway here. It's a bit cloudy today, so these patterns, you can fly them with any weather you like, at any airport you like. All right, slats are up. Let's bring the after takeoff flow here. After takeoff, so just retracting the speed brake and auto brake to off. And as well, one thing that we can forget is to set the flapper dial to 15. Done. Okay, so we are maintaining 4,000 feet. The speed is a bit high, so what I will do for this kind of circuit is reduce the speed and I will take it manually. So we'll go to, let's say, 230 knots. And up, I have the speed, 230 knots. Perfect. So we are flying this ILS runway 22 left in Boston. So let's quickly brief that as we're already on downwind. So MSA is 2,500 the highest, and coming from the sea where we are right now, it's 2,000 feet. And we're expecting to turn final at around 12 miles. FSiPanel has programmed 12 miles final for us. So we should be turning in between Noli and Vian. That's why we selected Vocus in the box. So the inbound heading is 215, and the ILS frequency is India. Ident is India, Lima, Quebec, November, already identified. So that's good. And if we go here to NavRad, I have it here with the course 215 checked. So we will line up via Vocus, 1700 feet, 3 degrees glide slope down to the minimum category 1 today, 216 in Barrow. So let's say Barrow 216, this will be our minimum. 216, here we go. And in case of missed approach, climb to 3000 feet, outbound on Boston, VOR radial 219 to Winnie, which is at 15.6 miles, Boston. And we hold. So if we have a quick look there, we should have that in our box. 22 left, then Winnie and hold. It's all there. Perfect. So the box is good. For the approach speed, we are going to land with flaps 35. So VRF is 135 plus 5 knots, wind additive 140 knots. Set. Auto brake. Let's have a quick look at the performance there. So we are landing today on runway 22 left. 22 left, dry, import the weather. Then the landing weight of that aircraft right now is about 153.7. So let's put 154 tons. You can put that as well, of course, in pounds. Auto brake low, let's try that with flaps 35. Calculate, no issue, so we can go auto brake minimum, which is low in fact. So this is something in the AFB, it's not the same name. All right, we have briefed everything. We've vacated the runway to the right, and that's it. So if we have a quick look now on the left side, we should see, well, it's just cloud here at the airport. Our airport is basically, we can see it right there. So we are right now at the end of downwind. We're expecting the aircraft to start the left turn. As I told you before, at around 12 miles from the final track. So we can see 6.2 miles now from the ILS. The idea of that feature, guys, is that you can fly anything you want. FSiPanel brings you here for 12 miles final, then you can connect it to an AirNav approach, to an NDB approach. You can even delete that waypoint and connect to anywhere else you want, and then fly your training scenario. So this is to have a quick feature to let you depart and practice. And here you need to do the takeoff, you need to do the flows, you need to prepare the aircraft. So that's the reason why I coded this feature. So here we will concentrate now on that turn, and as you can see, 12 miles, then we should see very soon the glide slope going up, and of course we can descend and meet the glide slope. The MSA we said is 2,000 feet. By Vocus we should be 1,700, so there is no problem to start descent if we need to. This is up to you. All right, so speed 230 knots. We're reaching end of downwind. Let's go 210 now. 210. See the glide slope as I was mentioning, and the aircraft starts the left turn. Beautiful aircraft, just incredible. Okay, let's go slats now. Extend the slats, and we take the speed at 190 knots. And we are turning now on base. Everything looks good. In the cockpit, we can see that we are nicely on profile. So now if you find yourself too low, or even worse, too high, just start your descent. Check your MSA and start your descent. Do not get trapped with being too high. All right, so here I will set 3,000 feet, just in case I need to descend, which is not sure, but I will prepare it, 3,000. And you can see top of descent computed here by the aircraft. So what I will do, I will start the descent with, let's say, 300 or 400 feet per minute, just to make sure I'm not too high. We are clear for the approach. We have land arm. So now we should see localizer coming in, and we should get established on localizer and glide slope. Right, let's go with the flaps now. We can go flaps 28, and I will reduce the speed to 160 knots. Here we go. And look at the localizer now that should come in. You see I'm a little bit high, so increase the rate of descent, JP, otherwise you're not going to make it. I just release the altitude window a little bit as well to make sure she doesn't capture. Localizer, we're on vertical speed, land is arm. So now I just want to make sure I'm getting my glide slope. Let's set the inbound heading here, 215. And we are going to catch the glide slope anytime soon now. And glide slope. Perfect. Now I can set my missed approach altitude, 3,000 feet. And we are established. Perfect. Right side, coming out of the clouds, slow. 2,500, okay, gear down. Arm the speed brake, we have the lights on already. And the gear is done and locked. Look at this beautiful MD11, just incredible, I love it. All right, let's go back in the cockpit. We're about 2,000 feet, so we need to be fully stabilized in IMC by 1,000 or in VMC by 5,000. So there is no rush right now. We could maintain 160 knots if instructed by ATC, or if we want to save fuel by not putting too much drag for the final flap configuration. So here I will start reducing to my V approach, which is 140 knots at around 1,500 feet. Then we will be nicely stabilized, and I will go with the speed in FMS. Wow, we can see Boston now, very nice. Okay. So the idea of this feature is to let you fly any approach you want, to repeat them. It's always good to start this with a fresh aircraft, so if you land, do not try to restart something with the box already set. Just reload the aircraft on the runway and start from scratch. That will make sure that it works. Okay, 1,500, let's go flaps 35 and speed 140. And if I click, it's better. And we can do landing checklist. We have the landing gear down, flaps 35, lights set, spoiler is armed, cabin is secured, auto brake is minimum. Now we can go FMS speed 140, that's fine. We're passing 1,000 feet, stabilized. I see the PAPI 212. That looks good, and we are stabilized. Okay, so by 500 feet, I'll try to take that bird manually and see if I can land it. Nice view along the coast here for the passengers. And look at this beautiful light pitch, like 5 degrees pitch up of this MD11 on short final. Just very nice. Okay, let's try to fly it. Autopilot comes off. So great, my button didn't work. Okay, manual flying now. Slightly low, correcting. You want to cross the threshold at 50 feet. That's where we're supposed to be. Checked, correcting. Okay, 2 and 2. Back on profile, now slightly high. That's why we train, you see? So let's try to cross 50 feet here.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Touchdown, no need of reversers. Spoilers up. And I'll use manual braking, so I'm expecting the auto brake disarm lights. Yes. And we will take a second to the right. We can use, in fact, the runway to vacate. So let's use runway 27 to vacate here. To the right. Wow, I love it. Really, I like the aircraft. Good, so we are vacating the runway. So one thing I want to show you now is the after landing flow. And why do I coded the after landing flow? This is available as well on the standard edition. If you want the other flows, then they are in the advanced edition. From before start to parking, even if you fly on VATSIM, you can use the flows. Here, I'm just going to show you the after landing flows, which are available in the standard edition. So basically, when you vacate your runways, and this happens to me, you look up, where's my APU? I need to start the APU. I need to turn off the lights. I need to switch off my transponder. And when we go back, looking outside, you are in the middle of the grass. And you're like, what the heck I've done here? So this is why it's useful to have somebody doing the after landing flow for you. So to start the after landing flow, you have two options. Either you bring the menu, which I did for the after takeoff, or the other method is to retract one notch of flaps. So let me show you that. Now we just landed, we have the lights on, we have basically the aircraft in landing configuration. I have flaps 35, so what I need to do is just retract one notch of flaps using F6 key. So if I do that, you can see that now the flaps are moving up, the spoiler went down, and FSiPanel is now trimming the aircraft here to 3. We have the APU starting, we have the lights on off, except the taxi light. The high intensity light has been turned off, and we have everything done for us. We have the transponder here, which is back to transponder. So basically, for the taxi, everything is done for you, so you can just concentrate on your taxi. So that's it. Now you concentrate on the taxi, and you don't need to look up or right. Should we have a look at this landing report? I guess it's not going to be so nice, but okay, this is why we train. You know, you cannot make always perfect landing, and that's the idea of training. So let's bring the landing report and see what happened there. We saw that we were a bit low and a bit high. So let's have a look. Let's bring the landing report. Okay, here we are. So Boston 22 left. Yes, at least the landing distance was good. On center line, smooth landing. We saw it. That was nice. Localizer was not too bad. And here, this is what happened when I disconnected with my mouse. I went down to 3 red, then corrected, and then again, and then we were high a little bit, and then finally corrected, but all within limit. Crossed the threshold a little bit high, should be 50 feet, I was at 71. Otherwise, the approach was stable. We had 147 knots above the threshold and 140 knots at 1,000 feet and at 500 feet. So not too bad. I'll save it in my database, and that's it. Here we are. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any question or comment, please drop it in the section down below. Stay safe, and please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you very soon for another video. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.